Welcome to the Mobile Agent presented by Todd Breen and virtuallyincredible.com. And in today's presentation, we are going to look at how we can get out of the box. And the box, for today's purposes, is the ceiling, the walls, and the floor of our offices. And this presentation was born from the fact that I have not worked from my office in over 10 years, and I'm going to show you how. We'll have a brief introduction to the way technology is moving so that you can understand the pace at which technology is moving and plan accordingly for your professional life as well as your business. So let's get started. My pre-tech life is also known as the Dark Ages, and it began when I worked at a property management company as the handyman during college from 81 to 85. And during that time, I got a chance to see the systems and the way a property management company functions, and I learned quite a bit during that time. When I graduated with my degree in business, I went to work for the company and became a real estate agent as well as a property manager. And I served in that capacity for 8 years. And let me tell you, I worked hard and fast because we managed hundreds of properties and the company was growing quite rapidly. I had the opportunity to buy the company in 1993. And for the next 8 years, I was the sole proprietor. And I actually managed almost 200 units while being a full-time real estate agent averaging 5 closings a month. And I, in addition to that, did my own bookkeeping for the entire company. So you might imagine I was a busy guy for those 8 years, and I really focused on how to get more done in less time and how to make more money and saving time. And so that's where this course and all of these courses on virtuallyincredible.com have originated from. So my evolution of freedom occurred because I didn't want to be stuck working at a desk. And in 1986, I bought the Motorola brick phone, and I no longer needed to work at the desk. That was cutting-edge technology back in 1986. Believe it or not, we paid $2,400 for the first Motorola brick phone when it came out. You know, something else happened that helped us to gain our freedom, and we no longer needed a room full of computer devices in order to do computing functions at work. We could hold it in our lap. And when we take that power and really use it, that's what I decided to do about 10 years ago in 2001. I took a mobile computing device and a mobile telecommunication device, and I had my renaissance. The dictionary describes the Renaissance as a great cultural movement brought about by a period of scientific, or we'll call this technical, revolution, and artistic transformation. And what we're seeing going on in the workplace is truly an artistic transformation because of the technological advances that are happening at an alarmingly fast rate. So back in 2001, I gave up the corner office, and as I said, I haven't had a desk in my office in 10 years. I forwarded my office phone to my mobile phone, which was a big deal back then. Forwarded my fax line to eFax, and if you're still going to a paper fax machine to get your faxes, then you're truly missing an opportunity to have a wonderful fax distribution system going on in your office. We use our VoIP phone system, which I'll show you in a moment, to actually receive our faxes and email distribute them to everyone in our office so that we all get the faxes. So in one search on my computer, I could bring up every fax that ever came into my business in the last 6 years. And by having that in a centralized location, it gives us a lot of security. So I took this Renaissance time and began working on the business instead of in it, and here are some of the things that we decided to do. First thing we did was we unleashed new technology when VoIP phone systems came out. We said goodbye to our old phone system and we got one of the new ones. So we had a virtually hosted PBX. Now your PBX is the computer that most businesses have in the back closet at their office that controls their phone system. Ours is all online. And VoIP means Voice over Internet Protocol. What that basically means is it's an internet phone. It doesn't plug into a phone line. And so in order to use this, all you have to do is log in to a panel, which I'll show you in a moment. There's no equipment on site. It's a big business tool at small business pricing, and not only is it small business pricing, it's lower than small business pricing, because when we went to our VoIP phone system, we cut our phone bill in half. And that was amazing to get so many additional features at a reduced price. So let's have a look at a dashboard control panel of a VoIP phone system. This is the beginning of all of the extensions at our office, and you set up everybody's phone extension pretty easily, and you can do things like this. This is a soft phone. I'm actually doing this presentation on my laptop, and my laptop is also my office phone. So when I was booking a flight to go and speak in Australia to a convention, you'll see I have up on the screen here the recommended accommodation with the phone number. So I cut and paste the phone number and I dropped it into my soft phone and I dialed it, and you can see there in the left hand box the phone was ringing, and I spoke to the people over the microphone and speakers of my computer. And that is an amazing bit of technology that a lot of people don't know is available to them with a VoIP phone system. Again, it's called a soft phone. Here's another cool feature. Never miss a call. Now basically this is just call distribution options, and you can have it called any different thing on any different VoIP phone system, but the first two options are nothing special: send calls to my voicemail or enable call forwarding. The real cool thing is the follow me. I can say, hey, when a caller wants me, ring my desk phone, ring my cell phone, ring my home phone, then if nobody answers, go ahead and ring my assistant, and if nobody answers, go to my assistant's voicemail. Or we can do what I actually have set up, which is simultaneous ring. So when someone calls me, my computer rings and my cell phone rings, and I get to decide which one I answer wherever I'm located. And the caller doesn't know that I'm speaking away from my desk because they get the caller ID when I make outgoing calls. So I could be anywhere in the country or the world calling from my local phone number over the internet. It's pretty powerful stuff. Let's talk about voicemails. The VoIP phone systems come with a way for you to log in and check your voicemails. And the important thing I'm showing you is not that I want you to log into a VoIP phone system in order to check your voicemails. I'm just showing you that they create your voicemail messages as a file attachment. They're actual little recordings, like an MP3 of a music song that you would play on your iPod. Pretty cool technology. What can you do with that? Well, a lot of us are used to sitting at our desk and seeing that red light flashing, and that's how we check our voicemails. Well, there's a better way. What if you could get your voicemail messages delivered to your email? Instead of you having to go and get them, they come to you, because we can check our emails on our work computer, home computer, mobile computing device, or our smartphone. So wherever you can check your email, you can get a file attachment, and that's your voicemail message. So do you see all of those? You see all of those paper clips on the right-hand side of each email message? Those are basically my voicemail messages waiting for me to listen to them in my email attachments. So what can we do with that? If a tradesperson gives us a quote, or an owner authorizes us to spend money, and they leave that in a voicemail message, we've got it permanently stored in our email system. We can also save choice quotes from upset tenants or owners that we could later reference as needed. Monitor the quantity of voicemail messages coming into our business, because obviously voicemail is not the preferred way to communicate with people. So if you notice that you're getting a higher number, you can look into the reason for that. You can also play your entire staff's voicemail messages from anywhere in the world. Pretty cool stuff. I'm going to give you a quick example of how to do this. And this is a voicemail message that came to me yesterday, and I'm going to show you how we can distribute a voicemail message.
Hey Todd, this is Tom with Rent Finders USA, 561-329-1036. Just had a quick little question on your property there. Let's see, that was Lighthouse Drive, number 8, 561-329-1036. Thanks.
What a great way to distribute voicemail messages. No more phone pads beside your desk, no more yellow post-it notes. You can literally just forward your messages wherever you want. Now let's talk about a virtual receptionist, because sometimes a virtual receptionist or an auto attendant makes sense. The first thing you can do with that first red arrow is you can decide who is going to answer your receptionist line at your office, and you can move it around without having people move around. So if your receptionist goes to lunch, you could put it on to someone else's desk and they can answer the calls from their desk. That's a convenience. You can also set it up on number 3 there, try live operator first, and you can say that you want it to ring 3 times, your calls to ring 3 times at the receptionist, and if they can't pick up, go to the auto attendant or the receptionist, the virtual receptionist. That's a real cool feature. And let me tell you why that's important, because this noise right here is not what we want. A virtual receptionist should not make people look like this cartoon. It should make people feel good about doing business with us. And so the noise we don't want to hear, that to me is the sound of someone calling my competitors to give them their business. And that's a noise that you will never hear at my business because of the way we have our VoIP phone system set up. So please pay attention to the fact that with technology out there right now, customers are not used to, nor are they willing to accept getting a busy signal. You can choose between human and automation, but I would say automation is better than a busy signal at any time. Now, let's talk about an emergency response system, because whether you live in Florida like I do, where you get hurricanes all the time, or you live in an area that gets floods, tornadoes, or earthquakes, or major power outages or fires, whenever you have an emergency, your customers are going to want to call you a lot. And here's an example of when customers want to call you. When the news shows that you're in the ultimate chase location during a hurricane, you can expect your phone to ring a lot. And the questions are going to be quite simple. Owners see the news and they wonder, is my home okay? And so you have the opportunity to be proactive with a phone system and give them what they need. Now what I did was the first time through, I set up all my calls through my mobile phone, drove away and answered my calls there, right? But when a bigger storm hit, this one we knew when it hit it was going to take power out for a week, and that's exactly what happened. When the hurricane is as big as the state you live in, it's a good time to head inland, right? So during Hurricane Charley, I actually found a safe place for the kids. We went inland 3 hours away from where I live, and I managed our hurricane response efforts from a remote location. Now let me explain to you why VoIP is really, really good for emergency response. No matter if the power and the phone systems go down in the area where you live and work, VoIP phones never go down. They're hosted in a bunker somewhere with backup batteries and generators, and it doesn't really matter what the weather is or what's going on. Your VoIP phone system is going to stay up. So a virtual receptionist can actually save the day with message delivery. What does that mean? When you have a disaster going on, you can change your auto attendant and add for emergency updates because of the hurricane, the flood, whatever. Press 9, and you can begin your auto attendant message with that. And your callers, your owners, your tenants, your vendors can then push that and get directed to a website which you're updating, or you can actually record, hey, today's date is this, and this is what we've got going on today. And we're posting updates on this web page if you want to see if your property's been reviewed yet or not. And we've done things like that during emergencies, and we've had owners tell us what a remarkable experience it was for them to be out of the area and get real-time information about what was going on with their property. Let's talk about call queues. A call queue is a line. Now, a line is when you call a business and it says, please hold and the next available manager or agent will be with you in a moment. And a lot of people might think, well, that doesn't work for my little business. People need personal attention. We've had a call queue for almost 5 years at my business for our leasing leads. Let me tell you what the results are like. We can set up who's on the queue, and the system will automatically rotate the calls to whoever's available and who's up next. So we get that sort of a functionality. But here's an actual report from our call queue log. Column A shows the date of the calls. So you can see we're getting, calls pretty frequently in this day. Here's the wait time. 2 seconds. One of them is 3 seconds. The reason it's such a short wait time, it's very simple. The system knows when an agent's on the phone and doesn't even try and ring them. It goes to the agent that's available, and it keeps track of whose turn it is next, and somehow in the scheme of things. And so you can see that the average wait time is 2 seconds, and the average talk time is between 1 and 13 minutes. So our callers are getting served, and they're probably getting served, if you want to hear the truth, and I know this might bother some people, they're probably getting served better and more quickly than if we had a human being answering that line. And so another neat feature about this, in addition to getting the calls distributed to agents fairly, is that we can evaluate agents' talk time to closing ratio. You'll see some of these calls are longer, and one of my agents was saying, I'm not making the same money as everyone else, and I don't know why. So I printed out the logs for each agent and found out that this agent's average talk or conversation was 4 times longer than everyone else's. And I said, if you were to cut down your conversation time, you'd probably have time to do more deals. She appreciated that insight, and she's working on it. Let's talk about call recording. This is a brand new feature on our VoIP system, and we're just beginning to implement it. And let's talk about how it could be used. You could be on a phone call with an owner, and they say, yes, go ahead and spend, $2,000 to do X, Y, and Z. Normally, you would have to send a written authorization to them in order to get that approval done. Perhaps you could consider saying, let me record this call and we'll get your authorization that way. You push the right button, the call gets recorded, and then it gets emailed to you. And you're going to see in the next part of this presentation that when we get our emails through our cloud computing system, they get saved online. And we don't have to worry about losing them. It's actually a better filing system than if we actually filed these authorizations in writing, because those could get lost in a file. It's real easy to find things when we store them online. Another thing you can do with the call recordings, you can delegate conversations. I'll give you another example. A tenant says, I need 10 things done at the place, and you say, hold on, let me record this, and the tenant gives a description of all the work that needs to be done. You could then forward that to your assistant. That assistant could make a work order based on what's in that conversation, and then send the work order to your vendor and attach the conversation with the work order so that the vendor is actually hearing, the tradesperson is actually hearing what the tenant wants done. That's a pretty cool system. You can also monitor your calls for quality assurance and training. And let's talk about connectivity. We've talked about my phone system. Let's talk about how we log into our data. Now, back in 2001, I had to do dial-up over the phone. And let me tell you, that was slow and painful, but it beat going into the office when I needed my information. I had to use PC Anywhere, Log Me In, you name it. I was so excited when, in 2006, we went to Gmail at my office. And everyone in my company got a Gmail address, because that meant we could all use Google Docs and spreadsheets online, and Google Calendar. And we've been using these tools for years at my company. And you'll be excited when you see how those can be used at your company, and that's the next part of our presentation. I just want to point out there's a big difference, though, between Gmail and Google Apps. Gmail is the free version for individuals, like if you wanted to create your own personal Gmail address. Google Apps is the enterprise version that's available for small businesses and large businesses as well. And it gives you an integrated solution between everyone's email addresses and everyone's documents and etc. So it literally is a cloud computing way to run your business. Now, if you're logged into virtuallyincredible.com watching this presentation, beneath the presentation on the page that we keep this presentation hosted, I will list the vendors that can help you put together a Google Apps account, because it's a little tricky to get set up for some people, and there's services that just do it for you, and it's wonderful. You can actually take your business email address and have Google host your emails for you. And when you do that, they run all your emails, and you're going to be amazed at some of the functionality you get from that when I show you the email segment of today's show. Now, Google Spreadsheets and Docs and all of the different software is provided because Google actually challenged Microsoft many years ago and said, what Microsoft sells you, we will give you for free. And they've done it. Google Docs, online word processing. Google Spreadsheets, online like Excel type spreadsheets. And so presentations, drawings, and online form inputs, you can actually use Google Forms to create an input form that feeds into a spreadsheet that everyone in your office can see. Pretty cool stuff. So let's talk about how things are happening in the industry right now. Google has a blog where people can stay up on what's going on, and that's how I always know what's going on with Google. Anything new comes out, I'm on top of it because I subscribe to their blog. And you can subscribe to our blog at Virtually Incredible by just going up to the top of the page and clicking on that orange square. And if you're a blogger, you'll know how to read those blogs. Or you can go to our newsletter and subscribe and get all of this type of information sent to you in a monthly newsletter. But anyways, I'm in tune with Google, and they are telling us that in 2010, customers migrated 3.5 billion emails, 100 million calendar events, and 25 million contacts. And over 6 million emails a day are migrated to Google Apps. It's really picking up speed. A lot of businesses love it, and I'll show you why. This is a listing pipeline that we use at our business. And as you can see, it's a spreadsheet, but it's online. Google hosts it. And so Diana can log into the spreadsheet, and she can put in her numbers from home, from work, from her mobile device. Ralph could be logged in at the same time from his home while CHARLEY is logged in from work. All three of them can access this spreadsheet and share it in real time. And when one of them changes a field in their columns, it automatically gets updated immediately in everyone else's spreadsheet, right in front of their eyes. That's amazing. And you no longer need to worry about who's got what version of what document, because you all share and collaborate on documents together in real time. And that is a very cool feature. Another management feature, there's a revision history. So if you wanted to see what your pipeline looked like last week, last month, last year, you can go down and pull up old versions of it. Another thing you can do, you can find out who made what modifications on what date and time. So you can actually see who's working the program or how often they're updating their data, because it keeps these records for us. So at our company, we have pipelines for getting new listings for sale, getting pipelines for leasing, and I'm going to show you the 72 steps in our leasing pipeline. We've broken them down into some major categories, and each category is set up with its own section on the spreadsheet. Now the columns have different colors across the top, and the reason for that is different people can do different tasks. And that's a pretty cool functionality, is everybody's all logged into the same spreadsheet, but different people are doing different tasks. And so we have all the different stages of work that need to happen to push a property through this pipeline. And this is another interesting feature I'm going to show you. Did you notice that the second row had a hyperlink in the column? And what that is that's a hyperlink to something like this, an individual Google Doc that's hosted online where we can put the policy and procedures to perform the task in that column. And a lot of small businesses I talk to don't have a really good system in place for policies and procedures. This one works. And here's how you can use it in the field, because having context-sensitive hyperlinks to procedures is a big business tool, and we've just made it available for free to small businesses. It'll allow you to quickly train new and temporary staff. You can say, here, move these things through the pipeline, and the instructions to do each task in the spreadsheet are at the top of the column. Really cool way to get people working on your jobs. You can also distribute work very easily, which is something I talk about in another presentation entitled Staffing for Maximum Impact. Let's talk a little bit more about what Google Apps is. It really is cloud computing because all of our documents are synchronized. And right now the price is $50 per user per year for your complete email service and your basic storage online. That's a pretty good price. Most businesses would be hard-pressed to do a better job with all of the features you get for that price. Let me explain to you what those prices are. All right. First off, what those services are. Our Google Apps email service catches 20,000 spam emails to all of our office staff members every day. Their spam and junk mail system is far better than any third-party system I could buy to try and keep my people from getting 100 junk mails in their box at any given point in time. We really don't get junk mail. But I do see that we catch around 300, 400,000 junk mails a month in our system, and Google does that all for us automatically. Also, a lot of people are concerned about, well, I've got 5 years or 10 years of emails sitting on my other system, and I don't want to start a new system because I need those emails. Well, the good news is you can actually pay a data migration service a really low dollar amount, and they'll transfer your emails from your existing legacy email system into Google Apps for you, and you'll have 5 years of emails when you turn on the switch. And the cool thing about that is they'll actually bring over your folders, your filing routines, your rules, and all of that just gets migrated. So it's a really awesome way to get everybody working on this platform. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page that this presentation is hosted on, I've listed some data migration services as well as some companies that can help you integrate your Google Apps. Now, another cool benefit is once you're on this, you really shouldn't need a local server at your business or an IT person once you start using these systems to the true capacity that they're able to work at, and it'll allow you and your staff to work anywhere. So I want to show you how easy it is to search for an email when you have to search. So check this out. I'm actually searching for emails from Marley to Monty and back and forth, and in one click of a button I just went through 2 years of emails and pulled up all of the email communication between them. And that was done on my $1 billion supercomputer, not on my local computer. And that is really, really powerful. Also, you notice that my inbox is actually got 40,000 emails in it. And the reason for that? I don't feel compelled to get rid of and file all of the emails that hit my inbox. And so we can save a tremendous amount of time by not having to constantly move thousands of emails through our inbox. You just read the ones you need to and leave the rest there and search for whatever you need. It's pretty cool. Let's talk about Google Calendar. You can share a conference room, office computers, and company resources like video cameras or photo cameras and whatnot by making a calendar for them. And everybody has shared access to these calendars. So one leasing agent can book the conference room and another leasing agent will know instantly that it's not available at that time. It also means that we can set up appointments for different staff members because we all have this shared real-time access to each other's calendars. And we can still send invitations to events to our customers who don't use Gmail or Google email addresses because it's totally integrated with Outlook. It's just seamless. You don't even know whether it's Google or Outlook when you're making or receiving any of these appointments. So what's in it for me and what's in it for Google? More face time with my prospects and properties because I have my data at my fingertips, stored quite easily and easily accessible. You can go paperless and keep all of your documents in the cloud quite easily with Google Apps. And the cool thing about that is that when you we're just experimenting with this now, but there's a system in Google where they will crawl your scanned documents and try and create a script of what the words are on that page so that you can search for the words on the page. Pretty cool stuff. What's in it for Google? Well, they get to crawl through all of your docs and create a marketing profile so that they can deliver better ads to you. That's the reason, the primary reason why they make all of these free resources available to you. And I've noticed that when I'm online and I'm in a Google environment or even on a website, that I'll see ads that are related to my areas of interest because they know the things that I'm interested in. Let's talk about smartphones. Because your smartphones are synchronized with all of your data at your office, you can actually bookmark your spreadsheets and your key files in Google Apps and access them on the road anytime, and it's always the most current copy of your data. Also, we have recently gone to an online management software package where we run our company with a username and password that you log into virtually. So they host our data and it's accessible in real time anywhere in the field, at home, or at work. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Smartphones are really going to be the way that people use the computer and internet in the future. And it's even happening now. Cisco Systems came out with this report. They said that mobile network connection speeds are going to increase tenfold by 2015. So in the next few years, mobile network connection speeds are going to get 10 times faster. That's going to be faster than what you have at your office on a trunk line or on any type of a cable DSL. It's going to really blow you away. Now look at this. This is the predicted volume of data that'll come across on these type of mobile devices, and it's going to go up exponentially. Give you an idea of how I know this is true. I just bought the iPad 2, and it has a 3G connection to the data connection built into it over my wireless or cellular data network. I can actually get my data as fast on that as I can on my Ethernet connection at home from my local cable television provider. In addition to that, the iPad itself will compute things and give me screen changes and updates as fast as my MacBook Pro, which is a $2,000 laptop. So the iPad 2 is a mobile computing device, and it's as fast and connects as fast as my state-of-the-art laptop right now. And that is only the beginning. Do you remember? It's going to get 10 times faster over the wireless. Pretty exciting stuff. So if your computer and your phone are now going to be combined, what will you have? You're going to have a mobile computing device where you can actually work in the field. So what does that mean to us as business owners? First, we have to evaluate our personal website and see what it looks like on a mobile computing device. So go ahead and log in from everyone's mobile computing device you can and make sure that you like interacting on your website. If you don't, odds are that your customers won't either, and you won't get business from mobile users. So if you're thinking that you can make it better on your current template, great, do it. If you're looking to change, WordPress is something you should consider. It's the world's largest blogging software, and it's also one of the largest website templates available in the world. There are over 100,000 plugins, meaning custom programming devices built for a WordPress website, and like 70,000 of those are free. So you can really create a cool custom website, and the important thing is that if you go with a mainstream industry standard like this, then as mobile computing devices change, the template that you're using to host your website will automatically adapt to these new mobile computing platforms. So it's important to make sure that your customers can interact with you on a mobile device. Also, if you are looking to change any software from now on, you need to be looking as much at the company as you are at their product. Because there's a lot of great products out there that are written by companies that don't have the resources to take their software into the next generations of usage. There's going to be rapid changes in the computing industry now, and if your software company doesn't have a good engineering department and come out with real frequent releases, then you're going to be stuck with old software, even though it might be the best today. So take a close look at companies and make sure that they are staffed and funded in a way that they can stay current. Also, if you're out there buying desktop computers, you might want to reconsider that and consider mobile devices, because desktop computers may not be as useful in the next year or two as you think. And so if you want to make sure your resources are spent well, consider getting a mobile plan at your office.